Howdy y'all, Dr. Geiger here, and I want to talk with you in this video about a couple of ways to trace a popular news story about a scientific discovery or experiment back to its original academic study. So what you see on the screen in front of you is a transcript of a radio segment about some research on generosity. We get some background about the researcher and how she came to this, and then we get some details about some specific experiments she did. If you'll note, the date here is December 2014. That's when this news story was broadcast. And then the person responsible for the segment, person who put this together, is Shankar Vedantam. He hosts a great podcast called Hidden Brain, which surveys social science research. I highly recommend it. We're not going to read through all of the transcript, but I'm just going to note some details that come up that help us be able to locate the original study that this news story is based on, or that at least reports on. We've got the name of the researcher. Her name's Laura Acton. We get some details about her affiliation. She's a psychologist at Simon Fraser University in Canada. And then we don't get the name of the journal that she published in for this study. We don't get the title of the article that reports the original research, but we do get some details about the experiments. And I want to play just a little bit of the segment that gives us some of those details.
Experiments, young children, toddlers, are asked to share a treat with a stuffed animal, a cute monkey puppet.
They were told that the puppet really liked eating treats, and then the children were given a little stash, if you will, of edible treats.
The toddlers were videotaped as they received treats and as they offered treats to the cute monkey.
We videotaped them and later coded their faces for smiling behavior, hoping that would provide some insight into positive emotions or happiness.
So we can take some of these details. The research participants, they were toddlers, young children. We know something about the methods. They videotaped the children and coded the tapes for smiling behaviors or positive emotions. There's a monkey puppet that's involved. So we can take these details and eventually use them to help us figure out if the articles we find are the ones we're looking for. And this is an important thing to keep in mind. You're not looking for a study that also reports on research about generosity. You're not looking for just any study. You're looking for the same study that is reported on here so that you can make one-to-one comparisons between your popular news story and the study that it reported on. So let's go to Google and see if we can find anything about Laura Acton's publications. And it looks like her faculty page at Simon Fraser University is the first thing that comes up. So we'll go here and see if there's any information about her publications. And oh my, yes, there is. She is prolific as a scholar. Look at all of this. Now keep in mind the date of the broadcast that we just looked at. It was 2014. So we want to look for things that are around or before 2014, more than likely. So we look at the very first publication listed here. It says, "Giving leads to happiness in young children." This sounds really promising as what we're looking for. So I want to walk through the process that we could use to find this journal article, because that's what it looks like it is. It was published in the journal PLOS ONE. And this is the title of that, and it was published in 2012 in volume 7, issue 6. So we've got all of this publication information now, and we don't know for sure if this is the article, but we need to find the article to either confirm or eliminate it from consideration. So let's go to the library webpage and we can look at the databases there. Let's just do a general search for the title of this study. See what comes up. I'm going to put it in quotation marks. And it looks like the first thing that comes up is what we're looking for, Laura Aknan. We could add in our search filters the name of the researcher if we were concerned about maybe too many hits coming up. But let's go here. And there are lots of ways it looks like it's available, and we are going to get the full text online. So here, what comes up at first, it looks like, is just the abstract, but we have the option to see the full text. And here it is. Let's look at the abstract. Now, the abstract provides us a summary of the article. Evolutionary models of cooperation require proximate mechanisms that sustain prosociality despite inherent costs to individuals. So prosociality here is a synonym for generosity, those that promote interactions among people. So technical language here. There's nothing about, it doesn't look like a monkey puppet, but we do get information about toddlers and happiness with the giving and receiving of treats. They say documenting. It's not quite clear if they mean videotaping, like we heard about in the news story, but we can do a search function to see if some of these terms come up. Let's look for monkey. Oh, look at that. Monkey comes up. Introduced to a new puppet, monkey. Encouraged to touch it and told it liked treats. Okay, so this is encouraging. And then we also get some videotaping, hopefully, and we do. Emotional expressions were videotaped and coded by 2 trained assistants. Okay, I'm pretty convinced that this is an article about the study that we were hearing about on the NPR segment, the news segment from a minute ago. Okay, so that's what we were looking to do in this particular video, is figure out how we can find those academic studies. Now, and we've done that. We use the library databases to accomplish it. Sometimes we might not have the full access to things, especially to something that might be really recent, the last 6 to 12 months. That could be a problem sometimes in getting access to stuff through databases. Maybe it's possible that you get the name of a journal where something was published. Maybe the news reporter will indicate what the name of the journal is that a study was published in, but not the title of the article itself. In that case, we can do a search for journals, just like we did a second ago with the title of the article. We could type in +1, the title of the journal that this study was published in, which we found out from looking at the faculty members' webpage. And let's see, in this case, we know it will come up because we know we have access to it. But if you didn't know that, this would be a way to find out if we have database access to that journal, and we do. And so here are some options will come up that indicate the available dates from that journal that we have access to in various databases. So those are a couple of ways that you can, and then you can go into a given database and look by issue. Now, these are all of the years that we have coverage in that particular database for this journal. And we can we can open up the different years, and then we can look by volume and issue number. You're also able to do a search within this publication. And so then you can type in the name of the writer and see what comes up. And if you want to limit those fields to say, this is the author of that piece I'm looking for. And it looks like this researcher has published several things in this particular journal, but there was what we were looking for. And those are just a number of ways that you can go through the process of tracing a popular news story about a research discovery or experiment back to the original study. So that was the goal in this particular video. How do you find the materials? In the next video, I'm going to do a little bit of the analytical work that the report will require. What do you notice when you put the two pieces together? How do they differ? How do they line up? What are their goals, and how are those distinct? That's what we'll talk about in the next video. Until next time, this is Dr. Geiger signing off in the cause.